Hey, Matt.
Hello there.
Caught you a little off guard.
Not really. Sort of.
So what are we doing?
This is we're doing the podcast.
This is the game.
We're doing our weekly podcast called Gamers 2. And it is November 2nd, 2018.
The year of the lamb.
Is it really, though?
I don't know. I've changed it up, I think, every time I say it. I don't think I've ever been right. I feel like it might have been monkey, but I'm not positive. So, yeah, we got a lot of... I'm feeling spicy. We just watched a lot of stuff. I don't want to jump right to that. We'll get there when we need to, because if we do, I'll have an entire 3-hour podcast where I just rant angrily. And as much as I'm sure some people would like that, I don't want to do it.
All right.
It's not our complete style. I do rant, but I mean, like...
Oh, well, there's going to be plenty of ranting on multiple
we'll get
topics.
there, but 3 hours is too much.
I'm going to keep it light on the what have I been doing this week.
I'd be like a Glenn Beck type or Bill O'Reilly at that point, where I just... Never mind. I mean, that's probably insulting to somebody. So what if... in the nerd culture that we try to keep this podcast, what have you been doing the last week?
I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Solid. There's probably going to be a lot of talk about that. Max, you're just going to be an asshole already.
It's getting started early.
That's right. If he's up here, it's fine. He can't really screw up the soundboard. So, anyway, yeah. A lot of Red Dead.
I haven't really watched anything. I mean, I watched the new episode of Sword Art, new episode of Goblin Slayer. They're
things.
They're doing their thing.
Yep.
Sword Art's actually finally starting its arc after 4 episodes in.
A lot of pre-building.
The first episode being a feature length. So hour and a half, whatever it was. Which is fine.
Is that what feature length means?
I think it means like...
I've never known. When they're like, yeah, it's a feature length film. I'm like, what is that? What is feature length?
I think that's like hour and a half, I think, standard. If like...
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, you could just call it a double episode, I guess, or whatever. I don't know.
No, but I mean, like, even when you hear somebody sometimes talk about a movie, they say it's a feature length film. And I'm like, what does that mean? What's the difference? I don't understand. Is it like if I don't hit 120 minutes that it's not feature length? Like 119 is too short?
There's probably a chart somewhere that's like, all right, guys, this is marketing. If you come in under 59 hours, we're going to need you to call it this.
Yeah, well, it's probably something where it's like you can only be considered for an award if you're considered a feature-length film, which in our arbitrary numbers mean you have to be 121 minutes and 13 seconds. And you're like, what?
I'm getting distracted by the Grand Theft Auto 5 poster and the issues with his gun.
With which one's gun? Trevor's gun or Franklin's gun?
Yeah, Trevor's gun. So the charging handle is unclipped and it's like 3 inches back for no reason.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
And then the barrel's randomly cut off. It's just weird. Anyways.
I don't know. I'm going to swap that poster. I got a bunch of other posters out. It's a perfect size because it fits, but the one behind it I think is my Modern Warfare 2 poster. But I have other ones. I just got to see if they fit.
What we should do. So we have, now we're getting off topic already.
We're already gone.
We have, the mats that they put on to make like the artistic mats that.
Yeah, to allow you to frame a picture that doesn't fit.
We have, we have a mat cutter.
So you can cut your own mats?
Yes. The mats are really cheap. If you get them cut, it gets pricey.
Yeah.
But to get a huge mat, it's like $2-3, and then you cut it, and it gives it that nice beveled white edge. And I'm obsessed with putting like posters and stuff that don't belong looking fancy into fancy frames and mats.
We will discuss after this then, because you should see the posters I have.
Yeah, we should do some like my brother's. I think you saw that a couple of years ago. I made him the Red Dead, the Walking Dead.
Yeah. I have the Halo Reach release poster.
Yeah, see, that's the type of...
is a weird size. It is a 38.5-inch poster.
Mm-hmm. We should, we'll mat up. We'll make everything look way too fancy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm all down for that.
People will be like, why do you have that video game poster in like this like museum frame? Shh. Don't worry about it.
Just look over there. Look somewhere else. If you can't appreciate art, you pleb.
Anyways, Red Dead, that's all I've been doing.
Yeah. How many hours do you think you have into Red Dead now?
I gotta see if there's a way to track it, but I have to be like 20, 30 hours.
Do you know your story percent complete?
I think I'm at 30%.
Okay.
It's hard to tell because like I feel like it takes me. I just feel like it takes me so long to do stuff, but we'll talk about it more later, I guess. Yeah, but that's really it. I mean, it's kind of weird. Oh, well, we'll talk about it more later.
Okay.
I guess I don't want to get into it, and then
Into the Red Dead stuff.
And then next thing I know, we're like,
yeah, we can get through the. I was gonna say the meat and potatoes of that show, but this is more always of the appetizer. That's always the guarantee. This is the side salad or soup.
Yes.
That you would get before we get to the meat and potatoes.
Nice Cobb salad.
I can go for a Cobb salad, Caesar.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, give or take, either one's. That's a complete side. I was gonna say this is gonna be a complete side tangent now, but when we were getting drinks,
yeah,
you know how they have the cooler in front of us that's like in between the two registers.
Mm-hmm.
It has like pre-made salads or wraps and stuff like that. And I've always joked that they have deviled eggs sitting in there. I'm like, man, I really want some deviled eggs. Every time I see them, I'm like, man, I want some deviled eggs because I can eat me some deviled eggs.
Okay,
it's a gassy time when I do, but I can eat me some deviled eggs.
It's a lot of protein.
That's true for these gains. And then I also saw it in there, and the problem was that they cost $2.19, and I would never pay that. But they were like yay big, which yay big for anybody listening at home is a little bit bigger than a $half. Cheesecake, like bites.
That's interesting.
And I was so tempted, but I was like $2.19 for that? No. Anyway, yeah. So it sounds like you've been up to a lot.
No.
Well, I know Red Dead is like comprehensive in terms of saying you're 30% of the way through the story is quite a bit, I think.
See, that's the thing too. Is the story window is tracking just the main story?
I believe my understanding of it would be yes, that is tracking just your main story stuff.
Okay,
not the side stuff.
Yeah,
because I'm only 17% on the main story, which is part of what I've been doing all week, along with.
Oh, I got like a list over here.
I finished A Way Out with Kenny.
Okay.
Solid plot twist at the end.
All right.
And it's a fun game. You know, It takes maybe 6 to 8 hours to finish.
Okay.
So a couple nights, depending on what your time frame is. But a cool side by side, like
yeah.
Because the thing that I forgot about it before we started playing was that even if you're playing it online, it shows both screens. It shows a split screen setup. So you always see what the other person's like you were playing on a couch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. And there's other times where like it cuts away to only being one of you or something if there's like a cinematic that only involves you and stuff like that. It was a fun time. Well worth Origin Access Premiere to play that. Played a little bit of Ring of Elysium. Played with some squads. Got Todd in there. Got Kenny in there. It was a good time.
Oh, yeah. You're a free-to-play shooter.
Yep. Free-to-play Battle Royale. That it's still just it's there.
Yeah.
We just use it because it's free and it's fun sometimes. Why don't we use Fortnite? Mostly because we haven't played since Season 3, I think, is when Todd and I were really into it. And now they've changed so much it would take us like not a month, but like a solid week of playing that to get back into it.
Yeah.
Red Dead, obviously, that's what I said. I'm like 17% through the story. You saw where I was doing stuff earlier. We have kind of understanding now.
Yeah, which, for reference, I'm sure we'll talk about it more, but that's 17% doesn't sound like a lot. That's a lot of playtime.
Yeah, I'm probably 13 at least hours in.
Yeah.
Forza. Been doing myself a little bit of driving throughout the London.
Ooh. Didn't know.
No. UK.
I was going to say London's in the game.
London's not in the game. Edinburgh's in the game.
That'd be cool, though. I haven't even made it up to Edinburgh yet.
Honestly, it'd be interesting if they did a London DLC, so I'm just like street racing in London.
That'd be cool.
Kind of like when they did the winter one for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Give me urban street racing in London for this one. I actually might buy that one. That'd be really interesting.
Is there... I've never bought the non-Horizon Forza.
It's a simulation one.
Yeah, so is
Forza
there...
Motorsport.
Yeah, is there street racing in that one?
There might be some road racing, but it's all, I believe, courses and stuff. Like you would actually see of
the
name of the races I can't remember.
Okay. Because I don't recall ever seeing Horizon go into like just street racing through like a city like that.
Yeah, I mean, Need for Speed is the one that always like did that one, but like majority wise did that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be cool to. Horizon could easily do it, so
Yeah,
it'd be fun to see them. I know we talked about this before, kind of. I don't know if it was on here or if it was off air. About our luck with the wheel spins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And how I seem to rake in cash and cars, and you seem to get nothing.
Like just shit clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I now have more cars and more cash. I've bought 2 houses.
See, like that's what kills me is
But
like
I found 2 houses. One was $500,000 and one was $200,000.
yeah.
Both came with wheel spins. One with a super wheel spin, one with a regular wheel spin, maybe one with 2 super wheel spins or something like that. I was like, yeah, I'm never going to use the house I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I just need the wheel spins.
See, like
I'll show you afterwards what I've pulled. It's been pretty good.
I've like
I got the Lamborghini.
I kind of stopped playing
that's a
Forza because
that's a time reward.
I got to the point after looking at your stuff. I'm like, I've played way more of it, and I have like no cars and no money. And it's like it's not like I'm playing by myself. I'm playing solo, so it's not like I'm not winning the races,
Right.
because you just win them when you're by yourself.
I stepped myself up a difficulty too.
Same here. I'm
In 3 when we stepped up, I couldn't win.
yeah.
And I stepped up in this one and I can still win.
Yeah, I stepped up once, and then I stepped up again, and I still won, but it took me like a time. Like I had to do the race like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, I'm just not dealing with this. I'm just gonna go back down to like the 1-up. And like it's still just like, oh, here's a pair of gold shorts. Like here's a pair of.
Listen, to be fair, I am rocking gold joggers. I'm wearing the short shorts because who wears short shorts? I wear short shorts.
My avatar is a female, so I went that route. But
she wears short shorts.
she does. It's just ridiculous.
I raced. You came in, I think 2nd or 3rd at one of my races.
Oh, nice.
It was. I was doing an off-road race, and it was a beach race.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to buy a car for it. And instead of buying the Nomad, I bought the Polaris.
I have a Polaris.
The Polaris just seemed like a fun car to use.
It's interesting. It's my barn find car. It's the car I take when I need to find a barn.
I did use it for that as well.
It works really well for that.
I used it for that, and then I will also hop back into like my, what is it? I think it's the Dodge Ram or like the F-150 that I have. The big all-wheel drive 4x4 trucks that I can take. Like when we were searching for that one in the mountain, I was like, my Lotus can't climb this mountain. I need something bigger. And then I played Civ 6.
Good old Civ 6.
Civ 6, mind you, Todd and I finished a game.
That's impressive in itself.
We had the tempo up. It took us like a couple nights. And we lost to the CPU, so that was fun.
Not uncommon, I feel like.
Not uncommon, but I had a vendetta out against the Chinese. They attacked me early on.
Trump.
They attacked me early on. I fended them off.
Did you build a wall after that?
I built a lot of walls. I fended them off. And then towards the end of the game, we noticed that...
Gandhi came in and nuked you.
No, Gandhi wasn't in the game.
Okay.
Thank God, because, him with nukes, it's like it's... there was... I can't remember what the name of the empire is, but she was almost all the way done with the science. She's the one that ended up winning. But she was done with all the science research, like, stupid early. Mm-hmm. And Todd and I are like, we're going to die. She's got nukes. There's no reason she's not ending the game right now. Like, just start nuking everybody. What's the problem?
Yeah.
And this is after I fended off China, to the point where China came to make peace with me. So now the game's going on, and I'm doing stuff. And I hadn't, like, after I fended them off, I didn't really do it with my military. I was doing, like, culture victory stuff. And then all of a sudden I glanced, and because China was right on border with me, like both of our borders touched.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I can see like the first row of tiles in their area, and I just see military units. And I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna go to war with me again. To like 2 turns later, invasion. And I'm like, oh fucking damn it! Takes my capital, sacks me. Luckily I had 3 other cities.
After making peace,
and like years later, attacked me again. He attacks me, takes my capital, so I still have 3 other cities. So now I'm out for a vendetta. and I start just building a military. I'm like, I'm going to kill you. I don't care.
You have insulted me.
I now throw an alliance in with Todd, and him and I start doing bombing runs on China because we're sick of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still at war, mind you, this entire time. And he starts trying.
You and Todd?
No, me and China. And he starts trying to make peace with me. He's constantly trying to make peace with me and like end the war and either get like a little bit more out of me. At one point, he offers me like 600 gold and then some other stuff. And he's like, well, I'll stop. Like, we'd stop the war. And I'm like, no, this is on a principle thing now. You're giving me back my city or I'm burning you to the ground. So I'm building up a military. Todd's bombing him. And then while I'm at war with this whole situation, France invades another one of my cities. 2 turns after France invades me, the chick wins. And I was like, all right, well.
Who is she in charge of?
Scythian Empire.
Okay. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, so she kicks our ass, and then we're like, all right, well, that's that game. I was like, next time.
That's frustrating. You didn't get to beat China then.
Right. So here's the thing. This is what I learned.
Okay.
1, next game, I'm not playing as China because I want to beat them. 2, I learned my lesson about straying from my tried and true bomb everybody and win method. So I'm going back to not being a cultured human and just slaughtering everybody instead.
That's
the true way to domination.
That is what Civ teaches people.
Yep. Science means nothing if you don't use it to kill your enemy.
That could be like a tagline on one of their games or something.
That's a tagline on my life. Otherwise, I've been watching, but in terms of watching, the World Series ended. So that's up there.
Yeah. Red Sox.
Yeah, pieces of shit.
You better?
I'm not completely bitter. I think it's one of the years, I don't know, I'm trying to think now in the last few years, where clearly and even though I'm a Yankees fan, like the best team in baseball won the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Annoying that it had to be the Red Sox, obviously, because whatever. There was a funny stat in terms of, we could talk about it later, but I don't want to. There is a funny stat that historically, the Red Sox do really well in the first 18 years of a century.
This is the last
next
year.
82 that they do really badly in.
That'd be funny if it holds true.
That was the 86-year curse or whatever for the curse of the Bambino, because they did well in the first 18 years of the 19th century and then couldn't win shit for the rest of the time. It would be awesome, but obviously
not likely. But
not likely.
They might make it 20 years into the century this time.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a Bambino situation anytime soon. Still watching soccer, and then I started watching a show that I hope I wrote down correctly called 11/22/63.
Amazon, right? Or is that Hulu? That's Hulu's.
That is
with
Hulu.
James Franco.
It is Hulu with Franco.
It's like time travel, right?
Time travel to stop the assassination of the one and only JFK. I have only watched the first episode, but I did start it, and at some point I'll probably go back. I've just had so much other stuff going on that I'm trying to beat and conquer. That it's
juggle.
Yeah, it's a juggling fest, and if I didn't have to work, I wouldn't have these problems. I could binge an entire season in one day, then play all of another game in another day. Like if I was a streamer and I made money, like, oh, can you think of the possibilities? Anyway.
Them streamers.
Them streamers dough. That being said.
Oh, yeah. How about, I don't know, I think that happened last weekend. Kimi winning. Kimi Räikkönen winning Formula One race.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Funny thing about Formula One, whenever we talk about it, certain people's ears bleed.
Oh.
Kimi Räikkönen. Yeah, first time in 5 years.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, he's been good this entire time, but they for some reason don't let him win.
Poor Kimi.
So if you're looking for something to stream this week, how about some new titles? What am I kidding? Everybody's going to keep streaming Fortnite, Blackout, and fucking Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I guess Red Dead.
But if you want to be different, you could do the new releases, which are, in terms of things that are at least interesting to me, Call of Cthulhu for PS4, Xbox, and PC. Dream Daddy had some DLC come out. Steep had Steep had X Games DLC come out. Deathmark came out for PS4, Switch, and the Vita. The Quiet Man for PS4 and PC, which I think is funny because it had a super quiet release.
It did. I saw something on Reddit where someone was like, I'm like 75% of the way through The Quiet Man, and I still don't know what the game's about, or something like that.
There was a patch notes I saw where they said there was a patch for The Quiet Man that added noises or something like that, and I went, I'm not, all right. I just got, I was like confused, and then was like, all right, whatever. And Diablo 3 makes its way to the Switch, and you'll hear more about that later.
It's all on fire.
Blizzard headquarters, this is fine. Anyway. We get now into the news headlines for the week of November 2nd, 2018 with Matthew and Nathan. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun,
Fireworks,
dun, dun.
firecrackers. Sweet scene transitions, fade out, fade in, zoom out.
We got some high-end editing going on here.
Yeah, this is how I do editing. I just stand behind people. I'm like, zoom in, zoom out, left, right, pan over there. Find that guy's foot. Zoom back out. All right.
Quick cut.
What do you mean you don't know how to use a fade wheel? Fade. All right. You got number one.
Okay. Sony's PlayStation blog has revealed the full list of games coming to the PlayStation Classic, which is releasing December 3rd. Not everyone is...
What's that, Matt? That would make a great Christmas gift?
It would.
No, I mean, it'd be average.
Not everyone is completely satisfied with the list, but regardless,
It's
here
the
it
same
is.
as getting like an NES Classic. You're going to have to fight some small child in the store in order to get one, probably. And
Drop
then
kick the mother truckers. Battle Arena Toshiden. That sounds right.
Battle Arena Toshidan.
Cool Borders 2. Excellent game. Destruction Derby. Final Fantasy 7.
Nah.
Grand Theft Auto. Intelligent Cube. Jumping Flash. Metal Gear Solid. Mr. Driller. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Rayman. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Revelations Persona. Ridge Racer Type 4. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Siphon Filter. Tekken 3. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Twisted Metal. And Wild Arms.
Honestly, I think that's a pretty good lineup.
It's not bad. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because there were a lot of weird things they could have pulled out.
Definitely. It is missing a couple that I would have liked, and I know I saw some other people. Obviously, everyone has their own opinion on what should be on there. So some people are complaining. Some people are like, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, but I mean, as we all know, can't please everybody.
Exactly. I think I might buy it just for Cool Borders, too, to be honest with you.
Did they say what the price was yet?
Too much.
Was it 70 probably?
No, I think it was like 99 or something, or
Ooh,
89. It was obscenely
Too
I'm gonna
high.
Look it up while you're...
If it's any more than 60, I'm out. And by that means, I'm out, because I guarantee it's more than 60. Number 2, a fun one for me. The ESRB has rated Insomniac Games' Sunset Overdrive for PC. So hopefully that will be making its way to PC soon.
Definitely something to consider.
I'm pumped for that only because I wanted to play it, but that was the only thing that was enticing me to Xbox back when the Xbox Ones launched. So I was like, it looks like a cool game. It looks like a, Ratchet and Clank-esque, but with way more colors than ever should be in a game. But yeah, I'm in. Do some like weird traversal with grinding on stuff and shooting stuff and crafting gun to whatever. Yeah, I'm in.
Looks interesting.
Yeah, it probably would be it's probably like a 10-hour, maybe 15-hour game. I'm down. Just have to give it time and hopefully it comes to Game Pass.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, not getting a PlayStation Classic.
$100.
Yes.
Yep. Nope, I'm out.
Soul Calibur 6 has been drawing attention online for its rather intricate character creator, and it's not going unnoticed by Bandai Namco.
Not much does. I mean,
I don't know about that.
I don't either.
On the official Japanese Soul Calibur website, Bandai warns that taking an inappropriate character online could get you banned from online play. Here's the Google translated version. Quote, if you create a character against public order and morals in character creation and do online matchups.
Let's define morals here.
We may suspend the use of other online restrictions and other restrictions, end quote. Obviously, it's the translation.
Yeah, translations don't always work. I just want to be clear that in morals, if I say a large phallic symbol is not immoral, then what do you mean? Japan?
Yeah.
They're Japanese, right? I think they're Japanese.
Yeah. Maybe you're pagan, and that's your way of trying to become fertile, worshiping fertility.
Am I racist to say that if I put tentacles in, you're fine with it? I don't know what we're discussing. That being said, that character creator is pretty good, and I've seen some fun ones come out of there. Somebody made Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
There has been some good ones.
And he does have exactly what you're thinking, a giant top hat.
I'm trying to think of, there's a really
Cleft,
good one.
the Boy Chin Wonder, not the Boy Chin Wonder, Cleft, the superhero from the same show, also made in that. The Boy Chin Wonder was Timmy's name.
I'm trying to remember. I saw a really good one. I can't remember what the hell it was. Oh, well, whatever. Everyone did like the normal
made a
One
Punch Man.
Yeah, they did. I saw One Punch Man one.
And then there was
Thanos,
Zorro.
Of course.
Yeah, Zorro was in there. Thanos was in there. There's some good ones.
Yeah.
There have been like a Zangief. Not sure if that's true or not, though. But yeah, the Doug Dimmadome, over the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
The creator is really interesting though, because like basically, if you can make whatever you want. Like if you can, I'd be like, oh, I like that character. Oh,
I think I saw a giant Pikachu. Maybe I don't remember though. I just can't be that guy. I don't have that like the ability.
Patience. Like I don't have
that.
like
But every character creator I ever mess around with, the moment I start messing around with it, ends up like an amorphous blob.
Yeah,
like
and then you go back to a preset, and you're like, yep.
Yeah, like a Saints Row one where I just slide all the sliders everywhere. Like in one of the Saints Row games I played with, I think it was when I played with Eric, I shoved all the sliders in one direction and then all the other ones in another direction. So I was horribly disproportional. I was like purple and shit. And it's like a
Funhouse character.
Yeah, like it's made fun. Who cares?
And
it's Saints Row, so it's not like I'm trying to like when I was talking to you about the Red Dead stuff, which I'm sure we'll talk about here at some point.
Yeah, it's crafted later in such a way that Red Dead's at the end.
Okay, probably smart. But with the Red Dead stuff, which I didn't even show you, and I need to pull up, but like you can have animals on your head, like you kill them, use their skin to make hats. There's a bear hat. There's a there's a bunch of other hats that the trapper can craft for you. But the bear hat, basically, to me, is almost comical, and I don't know if I could be in a cutscene having to be serious without just staring at myself, laughing the entire time. When I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'll take care of that for you, ma'am," and you're just like, "You're wearing a bear."
That's okay. All right. It'll get knocked off after 2 seconds, anyways.
Yeah, you're telling me all the times I have to go back to my horse because I'm like, I need my hat. Number 4. EA had an earnings call this past week, and CEO Andrew Wilson slipped in that Respawn has more than one game due out before the end of 2019. He offered no further details, but did confirm when asked that he intentionally used the word games, plural. Yep. Interesting, because they only talked about the one when Vince Zampella said, hey, you guys want to hear my sweet name for this? And then we're not going to tell you anything else because this is a waste of a promo spot.
See, I feel like it's going to be one of those situations to where they're I don't want to say dishonest, but they're like stretching the truth a bit, and it's going to be like some weird like remaster or something of something else.
We have games. One of them's an experience, but we're going to call it a game.
Or like there's like a mobile game, like mini game side thing to like their Star Wars game or whatever.
Or they made one game, but then they have like DLC and Battlefront or something. It's like, no, it's not how this works.
That's what I suspect.
All I'm saying is, EA, quit fucking around with the Star Wars license and give me something good. Currently, the problem is that you own BioWare, and the best, as far as my concern is, you have the Old Republic. Don't fuck it up.
Good luck with that one, right? All right.
I wouldn't die on that hill. That's all I'm saying.
So, BlizzCon is currently happening. How excited are you for Diablo Immortal? is the first question.
That's the first one you want to ask? Here's a couple things.
All right, let me run through the list.
Okay, all right.
Let me run through the list, basically.
All right,
so
then ask me again.
There was several cinematics. Basically, the big ones are Overwatch has a new character named Ash. There was a cinematic for, what's that guy's name? The gunslinger? McCree. There was a nice little cinematic for him. What was the other stuff? WoW Classic got a summer 2019 release window, and it's free if you have a subscription to current WoW. Destiny 2 is that in the deal section? Destiny 2?
Nope.
Destiny 2, if you have battle.net.
Which, if it's free.
Yes.
It's not.
Destiny 2 is currently free until November 18th. I'm unsure if it's...
Base game.
Yeah, base game.
Base. Knowledge.
And then I guess we'll just jump into the... there were some Overwatch League changes too, but whatever.
Yeah. I'm not worried about.
And now we will begin the famous Nate rant. I don't know where you want to start, Nate. Do you want to start with the WoW cinematic, or do you want to start with?
Let's start with the stuff that I won't spend a lot of more time on, and work our way down.
Okay. All right.
So, boy,
there's too much to cover.
Let's start with Hearthstone, because that's the least one that I can say.
Okay.
Cool. Another expansion. The trailer was pretty... I always love when they do like the little jingles.
Yeah.
The Kobolds and Catacombs one is still probably my favorite. This one was still pretty good. I don't know how... I'm not in that environment.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how...
well received it was.
Or cards or anything like that. Because the subreddit has just been listing all these cards that have been revealed and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how it'll change the meta. I know currently... if I remember correctly, they have a giant druid problem where druid is stupidly broken.
Okay.
And they haven't really course corrected in terms of patching it or balancing it back out, I should say. But I'm sure people are pumped. I mean, it's the beginning of the next year. It'll be the first one, I believe, in next year that we kick off. It'll either be the first. I think it's the first one next year that kicks off the next year. Will be that one. So cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel like it'd be hard to anger the Hearthstone community there.
I think it's hard to anger them with release of more cards, but I don't think it's hard to anger them when you don't properly balance things, or pretend to not acknowledge an imbalance in things. Either or. Let's go to StarCraft. Didn't hear anything that I saw, so let's go to.
Oh, there's the Warcraft 3 remastered.
Well, we'll get there. I'm going to save that into I'm going to save that into the WoW side.
Okay. All right.
Heroes of the Storm. New character. Looks like Lord Ravencrest's daughter. So, cool.
Yeah, that was completely lost on me, but it's just because I'm not in that.
Cool that they're still supporting it. I mean, I don't think that they're going to stop supporting it because they still have tournaments for it and stuff like that, but it's one of... I don't know, 3 MOBAs, I think, that are doing well. League, Dota, and Heroes of the Storm. After that, I don't... maybe I'm being ignorant, but I can't think of another one.
Smite,
yep. Okay, 4.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Infinite Crisis existed, but that's gone now, too. So, yeah, those 4. After that, I don't think you really have anything. Vainglory. Yeah, it's a mobile one. We're not talking about that yet.
Mobile, you say?
Weird, right? It's like a perfect transition to what they announced for fucking Diablo. Diablo's...
Let me preface this by saying that out of maybe short of WoW, out of all the franchises, I feel like Diablo is one of the most hardcore PC.
Yeah, that community,
franchises.
I think, is so hardcore into it. Especially because they waited, I can't remember if it was 10 or 12 years for Diablo 3.
Yeah. They're a hardcore fan base.
We've had these DLCs, that have somewhat been lukewarm. And everybody's showing up here expecting Diablo 4 or at least more content on top of 3, I think. I think everybody's really hoping for Diablo 4, but in more like realistic expectations, probably hoping for a solid add-on chunk to Diablo 3.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, they took you out back and raped you and gave you Diablo Immortal, a mobile game that is only a mobile game and has no plans to come to PC.
Oh, I'm sure they have plans after after that dude's question, but
They might have some type of plans. They were
that were drawn on a chalkboard 5 minutes after.
They were booed off, essentially booed off their own stage at their own conference, and have maybe I would like to think that yes, it's a vocal minority yelling, but I'm not sure that it is. And the defense, one of the defenses I heard when we were watching, when the guy asked, "Is this some mistimed April Fool's joke?" was, "Everybody here has phones, don't they?" And it was like, that's not your justification.
That was so
like, yes, I have a. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. I was going to say something super sexual for no reason. But it's like, yeah, no, I have a lot of things. That's not what I'm asking you to make me. And it's not that. It's like, there's so many things. If they could have announced this mobile game, right, and it could have been fine, because like I told you, you go, hey, and then you get that quick. Because first off, the fact that they even took questions after announcing this, bold move, and clearly backfired immediately.
Oh yeah,
but the way they could have saved it would have been, do you have any plans, or is there any plans for this to come to PC? Or, something, the moment, first person to ask about like Diablo 3 or PC. And you're like, funny you should ask, because while you can do this, and this gives you Diablo while you're not at home, we figured we would also give you this. And then lights go dark, cinematic screen goes up, boom, more Diablo.
Yeah.
No, instead they said, here's Diablo Mobile, and we don't, I don't know if saying that they don't give a shit about Diablo 3 at this point is correct, because that's probably overreaching, but they went, here's a mobile game, don't ask us about Diablo 3, because we're not talking about it. And it's like, what? What? Oh, okay. And then after people started diving, when they heard who was doing stuff and whatever, the dev apparently that's making it already has an MMO-like game, like almost very similar game on mobile, and people are crying reskin, which if you're Blizzard, you can't get away with. So,
dude, if it is, I don't know. I kind of want it to be a reskin.
If it's a reskin, they immediately no longer have sympathy from me. I will give them a little bit of sympathy in the terms of like, yes, it is not ever good, especially as a fan base, to like boo the developers off their own stage at their own conference. Like, that'd be like Todd Howard walking out and getting booed out of QuakeCon.
Yeah,
not going to happen, but it did happen. So we shall see. And if it is basically a reskin,
yeah, we'll be following this one a bit.
Let's go to Overwatch. Overwatch, once again, as we've always said, Blizzard should just start making movies because their shorts are animated better than, 70% of the film industry.
Yeah.
I'll save Pixar for the other 30, but like...
After the first half where Ash and McCree, was it McCree, is that how you say it?
McCree.
Were talking to each other. I just want to, do that. Now kiss.
Yeah, when they're like really close, you're just like... They give McCree a sweet cinematic on Route 66. It basically kind of shows you the map getting created, because that's exactly how the map is. Trains crash and all that stuff. Then you see the new character, Ash, in the same cinematic with her sidekick, Bob. Sideshow Bob. Yep. And then there's also a cinematic that actually is her character reveal. That looks like Bob is called in as a sidekick during her alt phase, probably. All looks pretty cool. She uses a lever action rifle. That's pretty cool. has a bomb, does a lot of like rocket jumping, knock up, knock back stuff. Sniper. Basically, the cinematic was awesome. I'm always down for a new character reveal because that game is just going to keep going. Like, that game's not stopping anytime soon, it doesn't seem. And then I don't know what the league stuff was, but I'm sure it was something about how they're just constantly expanding because they've added more teams now this year. So, good for them.
Yeah, they're like consistent, strong, like updates to Overwatch is like really impressive and inspiring as far as the industry goes. I feel like, especially with like Overwatch League and their cinematics and like kind of like putting this story together.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
I can't wait for the moment when somebody cuts all of it together to actually like tell the story.
Yeah, like that first like fan. If they don't do it themselves, that like first fan made like
the fan was like, "Here's we're gonna take all these animations that they've given us and cut them all together so it's all tells you the story." And then we reach WoW or Warcraft, I'll say. Warcraft 3 gets a remaster. Cool. I know a lot of people are going to like it. It looks pretty good. And I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I didn't ever play Warcraft 3.
I'm thinking that
I just specifically remember seeing the box art from the Frozen Throne expansion because that's the Lich King expansion. And that's where my boy Arthas is. Well, that's where my boy Arthas turns into the Lich King. Arthas is in Warcraft 3 before he, purges Stratholme. But we won't talk about that.
I feel like that would have been the somewhat safe way to bring mobile in if they put Warcraft 3 on mobile.
In terms of WoW, yeah, if they had said, hey, this is available on PC. But WoW would have said, this is available on PC and your phone.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? I can play an RTS on my phone? And you're like, yeah, you can. You're like...
Yeah, exactly. It would have...
Mind blown. Then we see a trailer for the World of Warcraft. I don't remember what the name of it was. Something Honor.
Lost Honor, I think.
We'll go with that. And I don't really have anything to say about this because I've said it enough. But it's nothing new and didn't bring me back any. It's basically everything that we've thought is going to happen. Sylvanas is going to get blamed. We have to turn the entire horde against her. Guarantee we kill her probably during a raid. Sourfang probably takes over or dies as a martyr. Reforming the horde, yada yada, all this other shit. Basically, once again, similar to Garrosh 2.0.
Okay, he goes to kill Sylvanas. He dies. What's this little boy called? This little boy king?
Anduin.
He comes in,
Or
revives Sour.
If you want to have your moment of insulting him, it's Little Lion.
The little lion boy comes in, revives Sour Tongue,
Fang.
Sour Fang. His fangs are sour. And
spelled differently.
And everyone in the horde is like, oh my god, they like us. Let's not follow the Sylvanas lady anymore. Nailed it.
And then we pick up my idea from 2 weeks ago in which we all go to a new world together. And...
Oh, yeah, I remember that now.
Yep.
Welcome
to Nate's Warcraft.
This world sucks. Get in the gate. Get in the gate, guys.
Nate's
Portal
World of Warcraft. Send it.
I'm going to send it. Okay.
Anyway, if you want to read some fun, go into the Diablo 3 subreddit. If you want joy out of your life, don't do that. Number 6. We really shouldn't have to talk about this one because it seems like common sense, but we threw that out the window a long time ago.
Faux shizzle.
Matt Firor? Firer. Fee-fi fo-fum.
I was reading his name and I was like, I don't really want to say I don't know.
Firer? Firer.
Whatever.
Matt F., game director at ZeniMax Online Studios, confirmed to GameSpot that Elder Scrolls 6 will be on a different console generation. Basically, he said that if you follow the release windows of previous games and the info that Starfield will be out before Elder Scrolls 6, also probably on another gen console, then you know it'll be a very long time before we see the new game. Suck it, nerds!
Yeah, go back in your caves, all right? Get out of here. Get out.
We're not ready for you yet. Just go back.
Get out.
It's like a surprise, like it's literally a Fallout shelter where they're all like, and we can come out now? And you're like, it's not ready yet. Go back in. 4 more years. Back in.
More like 8 more years. Get out of here.
Yeah, but in 4 more years when they show another trailer, we're like, just go back in. Not done. Speaking of Fallout,
Fallout 76 beta has been running for a bit now.
Boom, Nate got transitions. But Matt wrote the document.
So I suppose we should talk about it, I guess.
I mean, we can discuss it a little bit. This is kind of what we do. Kind of.
The beta itself has been extended due to tech issues, specifically a launcher bug. I believe it is related to the bug that caused some players' launchers to re-download the entire 48 gig game.
Interesting.
Some other fun stuff is that the physics engine is tied to frame rate.
Which has been a problem since Morrowind.
So by unlocking the frame rate on a PC, you could essentially get speed hacks, bro.
Bro, you can go so fast. So fast.
Which brings us to the recently popular question about Bethesda. Well, I should say popular question again, maybe. Is the creation engine getting a little too outdated?
Yes, that answer was about 6 years ago. I could have told you it was. When was the first time Skyrim came out? Then
2011.
Yeah, that's when. Okay, so 7 years ago. That's when it was outdated.
Keep in mind that
they've been holding that thing together with duct tape and rope, like MacGyver, just holding it. Like basically the Spider-Man scene where he's holding the trains together, or holding half the ship. He's just like, no, anything. Any of you move,
Iron Man ain't coming.
This whole thing's falling apart. If any of you even move slightly to the right, nobody move. What? You unlocked your frame rate? Shit.
Keep in mind that Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 are supposed to be using the creation engine.
Which means you can basically mod Skyrim now to see what they're going to look like.
Yeah, that's basically it, yeah.
Just use a new engine.
They really do need to make a new engine, which is kind of sad because...
I'd call it Creation 2 or like...
Yeah, I went back and I looked up the creation engine to see its development and stuff. The first full game it was used on was actually Skyrim.
Yeah.
Which is sad. So I'm assuming that the creation engine is basically a modified version of their previous engine, and they just are
yeah, they've just been modifying it ever since.
Limping it along.
To keep it alive. They're just people were saying they're fucking ladybugs, man. People were saying it's probably a solid point now that most of the engineers are better at keeping that alive than they are building a new engine.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yep, nope, it works. And you just meet, because you're going to run into that same guy where it's like, man, you've been a maintenance guy here for 30 years. How do you keep everything running? He's like, I have this. It wasn't a malicious compliance post. I'm stealing this completely from some Reddit post. Where a guy was like a maintenance worker at a store for 30-something years, and that people wouldn't pay him what he needed to or all this other stuff. And he had a notebook of how to keep everything running because they wouldn't pay money to actually buy the new things that were so out of date. It was like, oh no, if this is doing this random thing, pull this lever, change this wire, slap it a little bit, it'll take right off and you'll be fine for, a couple more months.
Sounds like my girlfriend.
All I'm saying, ladies, you need to know how to take care of men. Pull them twice,
a little bit.
slap it around, you're fine. And then when he went to them requesting stuff or whatever and they wouldn't do it, or they were letting him go or something, he's like, all right. But they wanted to take the notebook from him and copy all the notes down so that way they could still operate without him.
Yeah.
And so he went and threw the thing in the compactor and then came back and they're like, oh, where's your notebook? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I got rid of it. And they just, everything broke down. It's like, yes, if you have people that know how to save things because you won't spend money to put new ones in, fine. But those people are going to be so valuable to you that it's just going to be insane. Anyway.
It's so bizarre to me because it's like, but how much, they have buku dollars.
Buku bucks.
Yeah. Just go make a new one. Go back in your cave.
You're not allowed to release this yet. Go back in there. Yeah, and now it's 2 caves. You basically have a giant wasteland, haha, Fallout joke, and then there's 2 caves. There's 3 caves. Honestly, there's 3 caves. There's a Deathclaw cave, which is the fan base. There's the...
I was going to call them super mutants.
Oh, okay. There's the super mutant fan base. Then there's the devs. Shit, no, there's only 2 caves in this situation. I screwed up. There's
you could have like the game critics maybe, or streamers or something. Like what we got, game critics maybe.
No.
Modders. We gotta have the modders.
There's the modders, the regular people, and the devs.
Okay.
The modders are just kind of out there. They've never like stayed
fools.
in their cave. Yeah, they're just like, well, I mean, we're here, we exist. Like we can just fix all this stuff and make it look better. The devs and the player base and the 2 opposite caves each other. The player bases are coming out and they're like, we need a new game. And you're like, no, don't go back in your cave, not yet. You got years yet. And then here come the devs. They're like, we have this new game. Like, did you fix your engine? No. Get back in the cave.
Shut that vault door.
I can't let them out until you fix this. And then you 2 can clash. But until then, they're the only ones that live.
And we are essentially underground as the Institute.
Oh, yeah. And just like, well, I don't know, everything looks fine down here. Idiots upstairs keep fighting around. Actually,
keep it down up there.
Modders would be the Institute where they're like,
yeah,
we have everything working.
Yeah, it's all fine. Look at how shiny this is.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this beautiful world.
We got a whole other campaign over there.
I built this entire other game called Fallout New California. Where have you guys been? What do you mean you have a problem with your engine? This thing works fine. You know, the player base is like, I want Elder Scrolls. They're like, we're not doing a new engine. Just deal with it. And you're like,
addicted to Jet over there.
Hey, listen, I only inject myself when I need to. Well, that's what I tell myself. I just need to a lot. Number 8, speaking of injecting ourselves, in a somewhat random and strange move, a British website Trusted Reviews is donating $1.3 million to charity for leaking information on Red Dead Redemption 2 back in February. In an apology posted on their website, they said, we should have known, quote, they said, quote, we should have known this information was confidential and should not have published it, end quote. Wow, that sounds like a pretty, oh yeah, we pretty much fucked up. Through a statement from Rockstar, Kotaku learned that the donation is a settlement. Via a Rockstar spokesperson, quote, Take-Two takes serious... I wanted to read that as Take-Two takes seriously. Quote, Take-Two takes security seriously and will take legal action against people or publications who leak confidential information. Because this situation involved information about Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar Games directed the settlement funds to these 3 great charities. The American Indian College Fund, the American Prairie Reserve, and the First Nations Development Institute. I'm all for companies, especially one like Rockstar who has specifically buku bucks, as we'll find out in the next sentence.
Yeah, so there was
settling this to make people give money to charity.
There was an update. I can't remember who it was who found out a little bit more information that basically...
Was it our boy?
I think I don't know. I think it might. I have the feeling it was Kotaku, but I'm not 100% sure. Essentially, they were sent a document. Some other places were sent a document. They made sure they checked that the document was legit by waiting for Rockstar to dribble out a little bit of information, and then when it matched what they had, they leaked the whole thing without verifying who sent them the document. So via British law, it's technically illegal because they didn't know if it was obtained illegally or, you know. So basically they made out on the deal, and that's why they're doing it, is because if Take-Two or Rockstar would have taken them to court, they would have gotten way more money. Yeah. So but
I'm all for these settlements.
Yeah.
I don't need your money, but I need you to pay money to charity, or I will come after you, and that won't be fun.
I feel like they said that to them while wearing a suit made out of money.
Oh, yeah. They showed up with basically the Riddler costume, but instead of question marks everywhere, it was just dollars. And they're like, listen, here's the thing. I can either make a new suit out of your money.
I don't need your money, you fucking Scrub.
Yeah, I can either make a new suit out of your money, or you can give it to a charity who couldn't even afford my shoe.
Which also makes me look good.
Yeah, as you can't tell, but these sweet wingtips, and his like calf is like that weird flex calf motion where he's like this.
Gains, bro.
Look at all these money gains. I inject money into my legs, muscles. My muscles are made of money. I had the people replace my tendons with rolled up dollar bills.
Speaking of money,
Ooh. I like money.
To no one's surprise, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a financial success.
You're right. I'm not surprised. I would have never guessed that.
In the first 3 days, Red Dead has sold, not shipped, 725 million doll hairs.
And it is a very clear distinction between sold and shipped.
Yes.
Sold is much better.
Yeah. That's the second biggest entertainment launch in history. Only behind what, Nate?
Ooh.
It's obvious.
When it says entertainment launch,
don't read into it.
No, but is it counting movies? Is that what it means when it says entertainment launch?
Counts everything. It's
Infinity War?
Oh,
GTA 5. All right. That's why I wasn't sure, because I know the movie ones, because we have those weird ones where it's like certain video games, they start ranking video games and movies when they say entertainment, and I was like,
which is another
Rockstar
GTA's
title? Number 800 something, wasn't it?
I think it was 1 billion. I think it was really close.
Did it hit it?
It was.
I don't remember if it hit it or not. That being said, GTA 5 though, am I right, folks?
Yeah.
Money, money, money.
The impressive part in these sales are that it achieved that with essentially half the game. Red Dead Online didn't launch at release, and we still don't have a firm date, but the beta is expected sometime in November.
When hopefully people have finished the single player.
Yeah, right? Fun fact. The search term Red Dead increased 731% on October 28th on Pornhub.
It's all about that Arthur Morgan. Ladies want to flick it to him. I can't say that.
The percent, there was a breakdown of all these search terms on porn sites as far as Wild West.
Well, it's every
Red
time.
Dead.
It was the same thing. I think when I can't remember what the other game was when we talked about this. It might have been I'm sure Overwatch is probably now spiked too with their new release of Ash. It's probably Ash and Bob, and I can only imagine what has been already drawn up.
Yeah.
Or what was the other one? I can't remember what it was. It was something when something went down. Oh, it was when YouTube went down. A couple weeks ago, when YouTube went down, Pornhub's traffic increased by 400%. It's if you can't go to YouTube, what else are you going to do? That being said,
speaking of that, I was not mentally prepared for YouTube going down.
When it went down, it just went, oh.
I didn't know. I thought it was my fault. I thought something was wrong on my end. I was doing all this stuff. And then
I immediately went to Twitter, and everybody else went, I can't get to YouTube. And I was like, perfect, not me, ignoring it then. But it was once it went down, I was like, I don't know. I just went to Twitch. I was like, I don't know what to do. I want entertainment, so I'm going to Twitch. The funny thing, there's a subreddit, as you know, that is Pornhub comments.
Okay.
Rather entertaining. Because most people aren't actually talking about porn.
Yeah, I know. That's the best part.
The comment section in Pornhub is somebody was asking about homework, math questions homework with one of them. And people were genuinely answering them. He's like, oh yeah, so what you need to do here is do this, this, this. Then you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to get this, and then you input this number in this part of the equation, and that should give you your answer. And it's just oh yeah, thanks, man. And it's what the
I feel like to some degree there's parts of Pornhub that probably have the nicest comment section on the whole internet.
Oh yeah, which compared to every, I don't know. I hate to say the older people that are so against porn, because I feel it's just kind of reached that adapt
It is. It's a thing.
We're reaching that point again where everything comes back around. Where probably 10 years above us and down is just who cares?
Mm-hmm.
We don't care anymore. Why would we? You want to do it, you want to do it. But whatever. But it's just now it's Yeah. All right. I'm just going to sit here and comment on weird things and give people things. Like, if people ask for help, I'll give them help. Why they do it on Pornhub versus anything else, I don't know, but that's where they do it.
Good on them. Should we talk about Red Dead?
We can talk about Red Dead. How much do you want? What do you want to talk about Red Dead?
I mean, we probably don't really know spoilers because we're not that far into the main.
If you
don't just talk about how we feel about the game
if you aren't more than 15% of the way through your main story, don't listen.
Dude, I'm 30% and I feel like there's not much has changed.
No, I mean, I know you're in chapter 3 and I know there's new locations, but that's obvious if you look at a map. That's not hard.
Yeah. I had a hard time. I don't want to say I had a hard time, but based on what I've read of people on the internet, I had a similar experience to where like I had to readjust how you play Red Dead.
It took me a little of adjusting. The beginning was slow.
Yeah.
But I think there was somebody that I could find the post, but there's somebody that wrote up some stuff about how like the controls are so just rigid. And like GTA's controls are rigid. Like it's a Rockstar game to have rigid controls. But even GTA seems a little bit more fluid. And I don't know if it's because of how much stuff you can interact with in Red Dead that's causing it to kind of break a little bit. Yeah. Where you'll be like trying to spin around, but he's kind of doing like a slow turn because he notices the character recognizes he's potentially able to interact with something and doesn't want you to miss it situation. But it's like, or like the way the interaction menus are. If I'm picking up something with this, but I'm also using this button to do this or this or this.
It reminds me, the controls remind me, and this is going to be a really weird comparison, but the controls remind me of like an old shitty automatic car, like where the transmission just doesn't do what you want it to do, and you're either always like it won't downshift, so you stomp on it and then it downshifts and red lines. Like I feel like I'm always like fighting the controls to a certain extent. And there's like a numbness to them, that there's like an imprecision, and like I've adapted to it now. And I think, I mean, you could almost explain it as like an artistic, choice to try to build the world, and your character, but it's still frustrating. And like, that was the whole issue when we were talking earlier, where I got stuck on the chair for a minute. Yeah. And it like fucked up my game. Like, To take
a quote from the user, PM me your catchphrase. Their experience. I don't want to gender type them. Their experience with Red Dead 2, I think it does a pretty solid job of. Yeah. It's a lengthy post, but I'm taking this specific paragraph. Mm-hmm. Quote. I've ran over someone on accident so many times, only to instantly get a $20 bounty on my head and having to run for my life or just surrender to get it over with. I've accidentally kicked a dog in the face when trying to pet it because the game insists on doing everything through a button combination in a context menu, and sometimes that menu bugs out. Sometimes a stranger opens fire at me just because I ride past them in the middle of nowhere. I return fire only for it to be witnessed by someone in the distance who happens to see the only part of the confrontation where I pulled the trigger. I've spent 15 minutes walking back from a story mission location because my horse wasn't close enough for fast travel, and I still don't really get the core system. I just eat some canned beans when the icons blink red.
I read that. I came across that post, and I was like, this dude knows what's up with this person. Yeah, but I don't know. Do you think it's purposeful, or do you think it's just like...
I think they took a lot of bold choices with design that... I mean, people would want to say you haven't seen bold choices like this in a long time. Like the last time is like a Dark Souls, like the first time Dark Souls is showing up, where
like when
permadeath like permadeath has been a thing before.
Yeah,
but like abusing it at that point, where like all this inventory management has been a thing before, and all these other things that are so things have been things in other games. Like
they almost wanted to like push the survivability envelope mainstream as much as they could.
It's like you went from, and I don't know if this is an app comparison, but like a Fallout 2. And then went, what if we put it in the Old West and made it way fucking harder? That being said, the story's good. Yeah. The game is...
The fucking characters.
So expansive. Everybody is flushed out. It looks beautiful. The world is insane.
How does it run on a regular PlayStation?
I don't know.
Like,
can I get this on PC? Like that's the one thing I was like, man, look at this on my out of the box release PlayStation. Back in 2013 or whatever, when that launched, is when that PS4 came home. On launch day, it came home and got powered on. And it is still kicking with none of the noises that yours had, but you use yours more than mine. I don't have noises. People were complaining, like, oh my God, my fan is going insane. My fan's not even going insane.
Here's the funny part. My PlayStation, my PS4 with Red Dead, which I bought the physical discs.
And I have mine digital.
Runs better than it did when I was trying to play when I did play it, played God of War fine, but it was just loud doing it.
Right. So, I haven't had loudness be an issue on my PlayStation. To my noticing versus what some people call loudness, like that's louder than my PlayStation.
That's obnoxiously loud. I wouldn't be able to deal with that. I love your computer.
10 times out of 10, I have headphones in. I can't hear it. The moment I put my headphones on, you can't hear that. That being said, if I also start playing Forza, you're not going to hear that. You're going to hear the speakers bumping some
fat beats,
EDM, and nothing but engine revs.
All right, back to Red Dead.
Because one of the things I got in Forza was one of those big trucks, one of those big like Mack trucks.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Really weird to drive. Anyway.
Dude, you get all the cool shit.
It was a super wheel spin. I know. I'll talk about it after. I'll show you after. I think it makes Game of the Year interesting going into the last month of eligibility, because a lot of people want to hang their hat on Spider-Man and God of War.
Spider-Man's out of the question, I feel like,
but I don't think it is. Trust me.
Yeah.
For me, I agree. It's in the top 5 games of this year, easy. But in terms of Game of the Year, I don't know if we're there. I honestly don't know if we're there. I think God of War was better. And between Red Dead and God of War, I don't know. So far, I'm still probably God of War, but Red Dead's so good. So it's like, there's problems I have with it, but there's problems I have with God of War too.
I think the interesting part,
but I have to say, boy. It's a knee-jerk reaction. If I ever hear boy, get over here, boy.
I think,
except I put a weird I put a Wolfenstein father into it. I don't say it like Kratos. I say it like I want to beat the child. Like, get over here, boy. Bang, bang. Make you shoot the dog. It's a Wolfenstein reference.
I think Red Dead's going to have a bizarre effect on Fallout 76 to where, because of the kind of survivability stuff that it pushes, I think it might actually
Fallout 76
take the edge off of Fallout 76. Like
I don't want to stray again from Red Dead, but the Fallout 76 stuff that I saw, in terms of I watched Shroud stream and a few others and stuff, and I was like, interesting. And I really want us to play it.
Yeah, I
want to do what we did with Fallout 4. Lock us in a room for a little bit. I mean, not necessarily lock us in a room. There's no door on this room, but
there could be.
I know it's in the garage. I just put it back up. Put us back in the same room, and the two of us just slaughter the wasteland.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
There were some people that discussed, like we talked about, you don't run into anybody, other ones run into people, but I never saw them PvP fight. There were moments where they ran across other people, and they were really debating it. They're like, these people just follow us down here. Like, I'm
I don't think it's been unlocked in beta yet.
I don't know. There was stuff they're just following us around. Like, what do we? And it's interesting. Maybe it hasn't been, but that's a completely side thing. It's going to be interesting to see how, because that's a multiplayer game. There's weird things to be said. Because it's a multiplayer game, people are probably going to immediately toss it out for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
It's already, I feel like no matter what, it's already not in the top 3.
I think it's going to be interesting if Rockstar chooses to launch Red Dead Online the same week that Fallout comes out.
I will say right now, if they launch Red Dead Online anytime sooner than the week before Christmas, I will be surprised.
They're still sticking to the November beta release, so
yep.
I don't know what that means.
I say the full release of online prior to the week before Christmas, I will be surprised.
Did they run a beta for GTA Online?
I don't think so. I think we just went live.
Because I don't know like what they mean by beta. Are they calling like a soft? Are they making a soft release basically? With like, oh, this is a beta, so if it's broken, we'll fix it. Like, you think that's what they're doing, or do you think it's like a?
They're probably going to try to do that mixed with like server testing and stuff like that,
or maybe like a slow release of content.
Because they had it in one, but I think it's going to be because I mean, you remember how bad GTA Online was at the start.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be an idea of like, all right, here's the beta. Here's what we want to do. How bad does this go?
Yeah.
All right, it went bad. Rehash. Try it again. Bad. I bet we have 2 beta weeks. Or 2 beta events. Beta 1 and Beta 2. Beta 1's the November one. Beta 2 might be like an early December or like 2 weeks. 2 weeks later. Of like, hey, we fixed some stuff. We want to try it again. All right, that one went a lot better. Let's fix that stuff and then full release.
It's all going to be very interesting how it plays out.
All very interesting.
Folks Chisel.
Nizzles. That being said, if you don't want to wait to play Fallout 76 or the other thing we just mentioned, Red Dead Online Beta while Matt licks styrofoam, you can get these games. Matt, I need you to click on that link for your Humble Bundle, and we'll talk about that one in a minute. But you can get these games if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber for the month of November. Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, Yakuza Kiwami, Burly Men at Sea, and Roundabout. And then on the PS3, you get the Jackbox Party Pack 2 and the Arcado series. If you are an Xbox Live Gold member, you can get, for the month of November, Battlefield 1, Race the Sun on November 16th, Assassin's Creed. Is that really the first one? Yeah, Assassin's Creed on November 1st, and Dante's Inferno on November 16th. If you are a Twitch Prime member, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, you get these 4 games for free this month. Overcooked, solid game. Overload, AER Memories of Old, and The Pillars of the Earth. If you're not a member of any of those, but you still need some new games to play and you want to play on a budget, because you a baller on a budget, you lost out now on the Hollow Knight Hitman one that we were talking about last one. But the new one for November, that if you pay $12 now or anytime during November, you're instantly unlock these 2 games and then more at the end of the month. The 2 guarantees currently are Metal Gear Solid 5 Definitive Edition and City Skylines plus the After Dark expansion.
Worth it.
$12. That's what, 70 hours or more of content, easy.
You could probably put that into.
You could push it to 100 hours easy.
You could put that in either of them, actually.
Yeah,
individually.
it's true. City Skylines, there is no limit. And then there is another bundle.
Day of the Devs 2018.
It's like it's a Halloween reference.
Pay what you want.
I don't want to pay anything, Matt. What could I do?
Can you not pay anything? Can you play a penny?
I think technically you could pay a penny.
That'd be rude, though.
Technically you could pay a penny if you want to be a cheapskate. At least pay $1. That's all I'm saying.
Full Throttle Remastered.
Live with your own conscience. Yeah, that second one.
That one.
Not the conch cell. That's another one.
Max
Full Throttle Remaster.
Looking so seductive down there, Max.
That's how I look at the ladies. I just lay down on my side and I'm like, hello. And then everybody's like, why is this fat thing just laying on the floor? And it's
trail of thongs going up to your...
No, those are just mine.
Oh, okay. So pay what you want, and you can unlock Full Throttle Remastered, Burly Men at Sea, which you mentioned earlier.
So if you don't have PlayStation Plus, you can still get it.
Pay more than the average of $647.
Currently $647. That can change.
And you'll get Rhyme, Hotline Miami 2,
solid,
and Ukulele.
For $12, that's like a $40 game normally. And you didn't say 12. You said 6. I'm an idiot. Continue.
But if you do pay $12 or more,
What? That's the max tier? Nate, what are you, a future predictor? Future predictor. I want to be clear. That is not a thing. That is basically a double entendre.
I'm going to get you one of those nameplates you put on desks. It's going to say future predictor.
Nate Killian. Future predictor. Honestly, that would be the only shop I would open in terms of like palm readings and stuff, or like tarot cards. It would be future predictor.
That's good.
Nothing could be more straightforward than that.
All right, $12 or more will get you a minute.
Or Captain Hindsight. Past predictor. Past predictor would be pretty good. I bet you the Nazis lose World War II. I was right. I'm the greatest ever. Anyway, continue. Sorry, repeat that one.
$12 or more.
Okay.
Minute. I don't know what that is.
Like minute or minute? I'm
Yeah, I
only
guess.
saying it with that stupid accent because I believe it's M-I-N-U-T.
It's M-I-N-I-T.
I-T.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's what I get for trying to figure out how people spell damn indie games.
Hyperlight Drifter.
Solid game.
And Day of the Devs VIP ticket, whatever that is.
So if you were to attend the Day of the Devs, which I believe is being held in San Francisco either November 8th, maybe, that gives you VIP access. That's kind of the one where if you're attending, it's a cool thing. Obviously, we're not attending, but that's just a bonus.
We live on the wrong coast.
Ain't that the truth? But we don't live in a city full of homeless people shitting everywhere. So
That's true.
it's kind of 50-50. And also one of the most expensive places to live in the country.
And we probably live in one of the cheapest, honestly.
That's because our area is shit. Oh, sorry. Anyway.
Don't give away our secrets.
You want to live somewhere cheap? Live where it sucks.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Yeah. All right.
This has been the Gamers 2 podcast for November 2nd, 2018. This podcast was recorded live in front of a studio audience in Santa Clara, California. I think that's the ending of most of those shows. Anyway, find us on Reddit, Twitter, YouTube. I'll stream on Mixer here pretty soon because I figured Mixer would be interesting.
Whoa.
I don't know. We'll just, who knows? Mix everything up. I'm thinking about streaming
I do want to turn this into a talk show.
I'm thinking about streaming Todd and I's Civ game and seeing how bad that goes. Because I'm just going to get into an angry rant the first person that attacks me, and they're going to have the blood of 1,000 hands. Because I'm going to cut all the hands off of their civilians and hand them back to them. Because I get angry when people attack me when
How are they going to grab them if they have no hands?
They don't need to. I'm just going to throw them at them. I'm going to launch them on my trebuchets.
It is the superior
Siege weapon. That being said, you can find us in all those places. Finding me on Mixer is going to be a lot harder because I don't go by any name I've ever mentioned on here. Spooky. So long for now.